Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's Izzy Seiko, and today I'm going to do another discussion video, something fun, lighthearted, in lieu of the other more serious videos that I've been releasing lately. I'm going to talk about my first locals ever, like what my experience was at my first locals. I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh in middle school, but that was with friends in the cafeteria, at people's houses after school. So that was never really a local experience. But my first locals that I ever went to was The Stand in Brooklyn. It's a small shop run by this guy named Gary, a southern dude. If anyone's ever been there, he's pretty cool, with his wife Christine and his son Chris, I believe. And that local is very tiny, probably seating for maybe 20 to 22 people at most. And when I was there, they would have, little Smash tournaments, but it was so small literally that you could only probably fit 4 people in there to play Smash, and you paid $1 an hour to play on the GameCube. And it was just something dope that we did after school. We would get out of class at 3 o'clock and we would walk all the way down to Neck Road from Sheepshead Bay, and it was like a 15-20 minute walk. On the whole way there, we were talking about tech that we were trying out, new cards that we decided to splash in our deck, and just basically talking shit like, yo, you thought you busted my ass last game, watch what I got for you this time. So it was dope. And we would go in, and first thing we would always do, because of course you had to spend that $5 to get in, but anyone knows that, like, as you go to a local and you become cool with the owners, you kind of don't really have to pay $5 upon entry. You just spend $5 as you're there. That particular locals, they had snacks. They had a slushie machine, which was dope. So we would buy a slushie, I got addicted to the hot fudge sundae Pop-Tarts, which was like fucking delicious. So good. So good. And it's $1 there, $1 there, and then you go through the common box. And I think this is the most, memorable moment for me about The Stand. They had these giant fucking boxes with 5 rows of just straight trash commons, and they were not sorted in any way, shape, or form, and it was just every man for himself. And so while I was playing that first slightly competitive deck, the Batteryman deck that I keep talking about, which I will release a deck profile on within the next coming weeks, I really had to dig for that shit. I had to find all the parts, microcell, AA, industrial strength, and then I had to find short circuit and battery charger and portable battery pack. So then after I built the core, I would sit there maybe for an hour every day digging through maybe these giant boxes, probably about 20,000 cards, I'm not even exaggerating, to find Light of Redemption, to find Card of Safe Return. These commons were 50 cents a piece no matter what, and the rares were $1. So it was a cheaper time in Yu-Gi-Oh, like I discussed in one of my other videos, where you could really splash whatever you wanted in your deck and have it still be okay and no one's judging you for it. So that was really my experience. I had tons of fun. As far as the competitive nature of that particular location, I don't feel that it was too competitive. We had a few players there who did go to Shonen Jumps at the time. That was the big thing. It wasn't YCSs, it was Shonen Jumps. And we did have a couple people, if I'm remembering correctly, 1 or 2, yeah. And one kid who I still see sometimes when I go to KG. I won't say any names. I don't know how comfortable anyone is with their name or business being out on YouTube, but yeah, we did have a few good players. And as the years went on, I stayed at the stand for maybe 2 to 3 years, being a regular, and people kind of just started dwindling out and switching over to Magic. Then there was a game that came out called Battle Spirits, if anyone remembers that TCG. I know it's an anime now, but I don't know how well it's doing as a card game. But that was something. Everyone started branching off into other games, and I kind of found out that the Yu-Gi-Oh community was dying there. So that's when we started walking to KG, which is not too far from the stand. Probably 2 train stops or 1 train stop away, but we would just walk it. So the stand would close at 8, and then we'd walk over to King's Games, which closes at midnight, I believe they close at midnight. Yeah. So we would walk over there and we would sell whatever cards we had to the owner, to Alex or to Boris or anyone working there. And then we'd make our little bit of money from whatever we did, and we'd play a few people. But I feel like the more competitive players were always at KG, whereas the stand was just kind of a place to chill and drink your Slurpee and search through those comments. I would never buy cards from Kings. I would never, ever, ever buy cards from Kings growing up, because I felt like their prices were just they charge tax on single cards. So I was a little downtrodden about that growing up. I was a young kid. I was working at like some shitty fast food store, and I'm like, okay. But I do remember, I think for my 18th birthday, I got $50 from someone as a gift. I don't remember who it was, but somebody gave me a gift, and I went after school and I went into King's Games, and I was like, I'm gonna buy a card for myself. It was the first real like worthwhile single. I want to say first worthwhile single because I was going to Bulletproof when I was like 9 years old, buying shit singles for $1 and $2, like Princess Pikiru, just because they were pretty. But my first real good card single that I ever bought was Zaborg the Thunder Monarch, and I bought that for myself as a birthday present on my 18th birthday. And I still have that card actually, because it's just like a moment where I guess I decided to get serious about the game and actually start playing instead of just fucking around. So yeah, that's my story on my experience at my first locals. So if you guys have your experiences, let me know in the comments below how you felt about your first locals. What was your first locals like? If you're from New York, where did you start? And if you're not, where else did you start? If from Texas, let me know what your locals are like out there. What was your first deck that you played competitively, and how did you feel about it? I can't wait to read you guys' responses, and this is Izzy Seiko, and I'll see you next time.